What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to Tuesday night's late night agenda. I know you're probably all fed up talking about Manchester City for the last 24 hours. So I thought I'd shake it up a little bit tonight and give you some Bellingham updates because who doesn't love a Jude Bellingham update? You're probably a bit fed up of me talking about him, but this isn't just going to be my opinion for once. It's going to be a mixture of my opinion with some news stories that have come to light over the past 24 hours or so. I do want to know your thoughts in the comment section. Please do drop a like on the video, and if you haven't hit that subscribe button, well, you know what to do. So let's start off with the news that Borussia Dortmund are willing to make Jude Bellingham the highest ever earner and offer him a contract at 15 million euros a season, which is about what, 300 grand a week in euro, something like that, a little bit less than that. That is a very, very significant offer that they're going to make to Jude. And I'm a little bit confused as to why they're making it, in all honesty, because we know he is going to leave the Bundesliga. We know that he has a year and a half, 2 years to go, I think, on his contract. So we know the situation there is that after the summer, when the 2 years starts to tick down, his value for Borussia Dortmund falls. And the only way I could possibly see a scenario, and again, this is pie in the sky stuff as well, I think, where he potentially signs that deal is if there's a buyout clause inserted in it. But either way, it does feel like this summer is going to be the time where Jude Bellingham leaves. And I guess the next question after that is, where's he going to go, right? Because you've been hearing me tell you he was going to go to Liverpool for the longest time, and that still stands. Everything that I've been told, and I have checked in with the person that gave me the information, everything is still as is. But I've always been honest and said to you guys, what I can't guarantee you, what I can't say to you, is what FSG are going to do. And right now, the ownership situation could even be thrown into turmoil a little bit because of what's happening with Manchester City. FSG may want to sit back, look at the landscape, and then decide what way to proceed with a partial sale or a full sale. I don't know if that is going to be the case, but it wouldn't surprise me, because if Manchester City are going to be relegated, and I don't know if they will or won't, and I imagine it will take 2-3 years, surely FSG don't have that much time, right? Because if they have the money for Bellingham, well, Bellingham isn't going to be enough in this summer. We need to bring in more players on top of him. So with Jude Bellingham in mind, and to continue on this conversation, not only has Dortmund put together a 50 million euro offer for him, but we have seen a couple of clubs already ruled out of the race to sign Jude Bellingham. And it does make me very happy to say this, but as per Sport, who I believe are either a Spanish or a Portuguese publication, Jude Bellingham has already turned down both Chelsea and PSG. Now, I would suggest that, well, one, that's great news, first and foremost, because Todd Bowley isn't used to hearing the word no, right? He's been flashing the cash a lot since he's come in as a Chelsea owner. PSG was never a fit for Jude. I don't even know whether it came into the conversation, because we know he's not just motivated by money, and nobody dreams of playing in the French league, with all due respect to the French league. So then we look at Jude Bellingham's other options, and I think at this point it is really only Liverpool and Real Madrid. Manchester City may want to be in and around it. Manchester City may want to, try and make a statement by bringing Jude Bellingham in, but ultimately, can any of us say with any certainty that Guardiola will be there, that other top players will be there, that sponsors may be? Well, sorry, I was going to say the sponsors may start falling away, but that's pie in the sky stuff because, well, you don't need me to say it. So with regards to Jude Bellingham's situation, I think it's between Liverpool and Real Madrid. And one thing that I've read over and over this week, and it was a pleasant surprise to me, is that even Real Madrid, even the might of Real Madrid, the most successful club in European football history, can't match the riches and the power that the Premier League clubs have. So if it is going to be a shootout, then it may just come down to the sporting project. Can Florentino Perez and Real Madrid give Jude Bellingham what he craves? I still stand over what I said was, look, Real Madrid can offer a player everything that they would want in a career, but it has to be at the right time. And I don't think right now, at 19 years of age, having already spent time going from his home country in England over to Germany to play in the Bundesliga, that he's going to fancy another move to another league outside of the UK. So I think it's in his mind that he comes back to Liverpool, and that's where he's going to sign. Honestly, I think it's as close in my head to a done deal as I could possibly say. And I won't even caveat it with the if FSG sell up stuff, because I honestly believe that the money will be there for Jude Bellingham. Now, I can speak about the fact that I don't think there'll be money for other signings after Bellingham, And that could lead me down a pathway that I spoke about before, where my big fear is that Liverpool look to cash in on Mohamed Salah, and that would allow Liverpool to refresh in other areas. I'm not saying it's my choice, but I'm saying if FSG stayed at the club, I wouldn't see it being out of the realms of possibility that they could almost hold Jurgen Klopp to ransom, potentially, to say, look, we've got the Bellingham money, the player we were promised, the player we told you was there, the money for this generational signing. But ultimately, if you want to refresh the rest of the squad, you want to bring in a couple more midfielders or a centre-back, then it's the sell-to-buy situation. So we're all hoping that FSG don't land us in that situation, but first and foremost, we got to get our boy. And I can't see a plan B here. I really can't. If we don't get Jude Bellingham, looking around world football, who else have you got? A Declan Rice, perhaps? You're talking the same money there, probably. David Moyes said just this week that if Declan Rice leaves, he believes it will be for a British record transfer fee. And then, of course, you've got the situation with Enzo Fernandez and what he went to Chelsea for. A lot of people are saying that has inflated the midfield market again, and I've seen some absolutely astronomical fees thrown around that maybe Borussia Dortmund will ask for Jude Bellingham, stuff as much as 180, 200 million euro. I think somebody has to be realistic in this. Enzo was overpriced. There's no denying that. He's a brilliant football player, and you're buying potential with him. Kind of much like we did with Darwin Núñez, I guess. You're paying because there's a talent there. You're paying because you think this player will go on to be a superstar. But you're also got to be reminded that he was 10 million quid, Enzo, the season before from River Plate. And now he's, what, £106 million football player. It is a mad world, my friends, that we exist in this football bubble. So for me, again, it's good news that Jude Bellingham has turned down PSG and Chelsea. It's good news that Liverpool are probably in a two-horse race now with Real Madrid. But I guess a lot will be decided about what happens with FSG and their future at the club. As of this week, that we're aware, and I'm sure you've read yourself in publications, it doesn't look like there's been a serious offer in the 3 months that FSG have put the club up for sale, and I've certainly had a bank showing prospective buyers the books and all this other stuff. You know, there's no offer. There is no offer there right now, and you've got Manchester United up for sale as well. You know, maybe there's a bit of brinksmanship there between FSG and the Glazers to see which one blinks first, which one's valuation is met or isn't met. Ultimately, though, one thing I want to say for certain here is that the most important factor in all of this is that we retain the services of Jurgen Klopp, because I've seen people over the past week start to go in some mental world towards a Klopp out situation. And look, I don't believe Klopp is without fault in all of this situation, but I am so far away from asking the manager to go. I don't think I'll ever utter those words in all honesty. So a lot to digest over the past 24, 48 hours. And of course, we're still getting to grips with the Manchester City news. So that brings me to an end with tonight's video, my friends. I do want to know your thoughts on the Jude Bellingham updates, on the Manchester City situation, on the Merseyside derby, of course, which is coming up on Monday, 8 p.m. But most importantly, again, I want to say thank you for your continued support of the channel. We really do appreciate it. Without you guys, we wouldn't be where we are and where we hope to be. So again, thank you so much. Keep an eye out, because we are looking to put some live shows on over the coming months. So keep an eye out for any news around that one. And again, thank you for your time. Much love. Bye-bye.